Well, as we approach day 5 of our series on a biblical perspective on God's purpose and our response, we're going to be looking at, are we truly seeking God? Jeremiah 29:13 is one of those verses that really cuts to the core of our spiritual walk. The promise is clear: if we seek God with all our heart, we will find him. And it's both comforting assurance and a challenge to examine the sincerity of the depth of our pursuit of God. And this scripture should make us really pause and to reflect on how we are seeking God. It's easy to say that we are pursuing him, but are we really seeking him with all our hearts? There are definitely areas where we can feel more committed or consistent, like spending time in prayer or attending church. But then there are other areas where, if we're honest, we realise that we might be holding back. And whether it's a distraction, busyness, or even the certain desires and ambitions, we recognise that sometimes we always seek God with our whole heart. Perhaps out of fear of what he might ask us, or simply because our focus is scattered. So when we only skim the surface of our relationship with God, treating our time with him as a checklist item, or we miss out on the depth of that connection that he offers. And seeking God half-heartedly often leads to frustration or a sense of distance from him. But when we do engage with him fully, especially in those moments where we feel desperate for his presence, we can experience a richness and a peace that can't be found anywhere else. So this shows us that seeking God isn't just about religious activity, but it's about a state of our hearts. And we can remind ourselves that seeking God is not a passive action. It requires intentionality. It's not just about praying when we need something or reading the Bible for guidance in a tough situation, but about desiring to know him more, to understand his character and his will for our lives. So seeking him with all our hearts means being willing to surrender the things that distract us and choosing to prioritise our relationship with him above everything else. So as we reflect on what steps we can take to deepen our pursuit of God, a few things come to mind. First off, we need to evaluate our priorities. We need to be honest about the things that are crowding out our time with God. Are we giving more of our hearts to our work, hobbies or relationships than to him? And then there's the reordering of our priorities to put God first. That is essential. See, being intentional in time with God instead of rushing through prayer or scriptures, we need to slow down and really engage. And this means creating space for uninterrupted time with God, where we are not seeking answers but seeking him for who he is. And then we come to the surrendering the areas of resistance. If there are areas in our lives where we are hesitant to fully surrender to God, we need to bring those to him. And whether it's fear, control or comfort, we can't hold anything back if we truly want to seek him with all our heart. And as we seek him in community, while personal time with God is crucial, it's important that being around others who are also seeking God helps deepen our own pursuit. Conversations with fellow believers and accountability can help keep us focused and encouraged in our daily walk. But ultimately, this verse is an invitation to go deeper with God. It's not hiding from us. He's not hiding from us. He's waiting for us to seek him with all our whole heart. So when we choose to seek him fully, he promises that we will find him, and there is no greater reward than that.